Oh God, didn't unmute myself again. 2 days in a row, fail. Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing incredibly well. Welcome to our fifth candidate. We will be shortly delving into his background and learning a bit more about Sebastian. So Sebastian, welcome to the stage. Pleasure to have you here.
Hi, Jake. Thank you. I'm also very happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity for being a candidate of the steering committee.
Well, I'm very curious to hear more about your background. So perhaps you could start us off with a little bit of an introduction. Tell us about where you're from, your professional background, and some info to get people familiar with you.
Yes, of course. So I am Sebastian Debaillie, better known here in the VeChain community as VCorgi, but I'm already quite some time doxed actually, so everybody knows my real name and my work already here in the community. So at the moment, my real-time job is at BMW here in Belgium. So I work in the after sales department now already for 8 years and still counting. So I love my job. With this job in the after sales, I'm actually used to solving the issues for clients on a professional way and also on the way like BMW loves it. So it's a job that's quite varied actually because in after sales you have typical questions of customers, typical complaints of customers you can't help with, and also returning problems from customers you need to deal with and make the customer happy again actually.
Good life skills.
Yes, agreed. It's a very important if you are a person in the after sales to be empathic and know what a person is going through because in the end, some people like BMW has a wide variety of cars. We have a 1 Series till 7 Series, which goes from 20,000 euros to almost 200,000 euros. But
Wow.
sometimes the person who is driving the 1 Series is more into BMW, into the brand, into the experience of the brand than a 7 Series user is, because they can more like throw the money away, and the 1 Series person literally worked for their car, and it's like they're treating it like it's their baby. So we have a wild variety of customers that's nice to work with actually. That gives the variety in the job and gives meaning to every complaint you get from a customer.
Absolutely, and I think that kind of translates nicely into the crypto world as well. You've got folks of all shades, all kind of interested with different, nuances to how much they care, how much they're involved, and whatnot. So having that versatility of managing, a large bucket of people is a very good skill to have. Thanks for that insight. So in terms of your first experiences of blockchain, then could you tell us a little more about that and what drew you to it?
Yeah, of course. It's actually, I gave it some thought already a couple of weeks ago, and I realized how I got into crypto again. So I started with shares, buying shares on an app. I was like, oh, this is such a dull space and it's boring. And yeah, it came, Corona came up. And as everybody knows, there was a huge dip. So Bitcoin got a lot of attention, and all of a sudden, Bitcoin went to 50K. I was like, "Fuck!" Like everybody knows, the FOMO was coming in, and I was like, "Okay, I want to stop shares. I want to do something with the crypto. It's a fast evolving space, and to be quite frankly, I'm quite fast evolving too. To be proud of myself, I like to, if you stand one day still, it's like going back. So I want to evolve, but not for. I don't want to have progress for the sake of progress, but I want to have real opportunities and real progress to be in life and projects and businesses.
No, great stuff.
Yeah, and like that. So I started my crypto, and I think I spoken already to a lot of people. It was not as good as I started. I started day trading, and I lost quite a lot of money. And then I was like, okay, how can we turn this ship around, right? And then I started actually doing research, and I stumbled upon VeChain because I wanted a low cap coin that was like, it's always nicer to say you have 10,000 VeChain instead of 0.0001 Bitcoin. it feels better, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was thinking, okay, VeChain, let's dive in. And then I saw they had a collaboration with BMW. They had a partnership. Next to BMW also came Salesforce. Salesforce is also a program that actually BMW uses for all sales that happen here in Belgium. Salesforce is used. And yeah, I gained trust in the VeChain community, and I got Corona myself, so I had it to stay in quarantine. I think everybody already stayed in quarantine, probably. I was like, fuck, and what I'm gonna do now? And then World of V came to life. So yeah, that was like the perfect opportunity. They had fee delegation, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna mint something. I'm gonna make my own NFT. And yeah, as you see my name, my profile picture, it's a corgi. So yeah, I have corgis at home. So what did I make as first NFT? A corgi, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
uh,
No, I mean, you can see the logic.
yeah, it's quite logical, yes. Um, so yeah, it was like World of V had a very easy access, in my opinion. So it was on their first marketplace even. It went slow, but everything went so seamless, and you could mint and even for free. I was like, okay, nice. I have my first NFT. Then Flame, actually, Virtual Flame. Of he was then even another name. It was Virtual Fart, I believe he's named then. He did a giveaway from an NFT, and yeah, I won it. And I was like, fuck, okay, what will I do? And I sold the NFT, and like that, I rolled kind of into the community and the DJing community of VeChain, and started making more NFTs on the World of V marketplace. Made more corgis, got to know more people, and yeah, when time was ripe, I suddenly got a message from G. He is also a World of V team member, uh, and he asked if I wanted to become moderator on the World of V marketplace, and I was like, okay, this I can't say no, right? It's that's an opportunity that you get once in a lifetime to join a startup company. And I was like, okay, yes, I want to be involved with this. I want to be involved more with the blockchain. And like that, I became moderator at World of V.
Brilliant. I mean, wow, that's quite the comprehensive story. I mean, that kind of answers my follow-on question there, which had been, what was it about VeChain that inspired you to be part of it? It sounds like your community experience was what kind of led you to get more actively involved, which I think is quite a common story. You know, people, and you find the VeChain community, and it's a very welcoming and open, community that are just a great bunch of people. And I think people get into that and stick around, which is fantastic to see, of course. All right. Well, thank you for your very thorough answer there. So I will move on to kind of life skills and qualifications and whatnot. So obviously you mentioned you work in BMW. How have you found your kind of professional careers lent to working within the kind of blockchain digital asset space?
Yeah. So at BMW, of course, we also have the maintenances of the cars. So it's very important that maintenances are scheduled on the right time and are followed up by the client as well as the dealerships. So we have several programs that allow us to monitor a car. So, for example, now the people they have an application on their smartphone if they want. They can couple their contacts and their car to it, and like that they get notified if their car needs maintenance or needs being checked after, like if they have an engine failure light that's turned on. They all get those notifications, but sometimes people would say they didn't get the notification, or they say, yeah, I forgot it, and then the maintenance isn't done right anymore of the car. But when you are buying a second-hand car, for example, you don't know it. You don't know what happened to the car, because if you don't especially ask it to that specific dealership, there's nothing to find it to say, okay, this car wasn't cared for properly. And I actually have a real life issue a couple of weeks ago from that. was an elderly couple. They bought a second hand car, and they were like, I bought the car, you didn't even sell it that cheap here in Belgium. It was literally a once in a lifetime opportunity to buy it, and we bought it, but we have some issues. So I checked for the warranty, and you saw, yeah, okay, there is warranty, but it turns out, to make a long story short, the car, instead of having 100k kilometers, it had almost 400k kilometers. The car traveled between several countries to make it possible, because in Belgium we already have a car pass. It's a database here in Belgium that can be altered with the number of the chassis and with the kilometers that are turned in by every dealership or everywhere they go. But if you switch countries, you can turn it back, and it's not known. And so I really had compassion with those people. But yeah, then there's nothing anymore you can do. And yeah, I have looked into it, and I saw verify car, and I saw that's something VeChain wants to work on with BMW, and that's what I really would love to see.
Yeah, obviously the verify car use case for odometers is quite a cool application area. One of many, I guess, blockchain can kind of serve any need in that kind of data.
Yeah, I agree.
Data trail. Fantastic, thank you very much. So, in terms of favorite application areas, then could what is your kind of favorite application area, and how do you see it changing the status quo? I mean, you've alluded to obviously odometers and car-based use cases. Do you have any other kind of favorite areas?
Yeah, so I'm from the year 90s, and I think more and more people get aware from climate change and also about sustainability. And also, I think you know the company 3M, who makes stickers and adhesives.
Yes.
So we just had a new article turned up. So in Belgium, we have foam on the seas. I don't know if everybody has that. It's foam that turns from the sea on the shore. And if you like play in the sand, it's nice to play with foam. But now we have a forever chemical, actually, the PFAS. PFAS is a chemical that's used to make stuff water resistant. And yeah, of course, so water can't break it down. So it's a forever chemical that now resides on the Belgian coasts in our foam. And they just advise children not to play with it. I was like,
oh, no.
What? Yeah, it's just, if you imagine, just think about it like a few minutes, like from, okay, it's a forever chemical, so it doesn't break down. It's not good for your health, and it stays forever. And to have children not be able to go to the sea when it's foamy, because then they could get sick, it's like, okay. And there, the ocean cleanup, it's one of the initiatives of VeChain I really love to see being blockchain used to help our sustainability for the world, and to make the world a bit better to live on, because we still need it for an eternity longer, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is a sad state of affairs when you've got chemicals that literally cannot be broken down just in the environment where people are. And obviously everyone's not going to know not to play with the foam, so naturally there will be contamination. So yeah, that is terrible. I think the circular economy, blockchain powered circularity can go a long way to hopefully reducing that, but let's see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I agree. I heard the talk with Luca, who also is running for the steering committee. And he was also talking about the certificates and that he can tamper with it. That was the issue here with 3M, that they tampered with certificates, and why we had issues with the PFAS in the first place. So if that is a possibility, I would just sign right away.
Yeah, amazing. So how do you see those kind of applications changing the status quo? So you've cited this area of use. How do you see that kind of impacting what we have now?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so you mentioned your favorite application, your kind of this application area. How do you, how impactful do you think it could be within that kind of sector? Sustainability at large, blockchain.
Yeah, that's just world changing. That's if you can bring that to the whole economy, and to just give certificates to everybody to see how they clear waste, how they go by clearing waste, how they how they go around it, how it's being breaking down, and or how it's stored. If you can put that in a tamper-proof blockchain, that's just world-changing, and to be sure that everything is happening like on the same way. Like 3M, it's a world-known company in every country. They are tampering, and then it's like, okay, that's not right. That's not how it's supposed to be. And also the issues like, okay, that's then again from like BMW and from the car branch. If you have to have an CO2, it's a median you need to have. So you have all your cars you have sold. From example for BMW, they count all your cars you have sold 1 million cars, for example, and they say, okay, the CO2 for every 100 kilometers is normally around 100 for all those cars. If you are on above that, no problem, you can just buy out with a fine. They're like, okay, buy out with a fine. Why can't we just monitor it better, like with VCarbon, and say, okay, here it is, and then you can go with extra tokens, but not just pay a fine and you're fine. That's not the way how we need to go with sustainability.
No, absolutely not. Real-time reporting, culpability, holding people to account at the source of pollution and whatnot. Those are, the powerful paths forward. Great stuff. So in your kind of, observations of VeChain, have you kind of seen any roadblocks to adoption, and how do you think VeChain can go about addressing that?
What I think is most important, I'm not the most technical guy, so I'm more about community, about the after sales, about building a long-term relationship with companies, with persons. So what I think is very important is just to have an easy way to get in, like to interact with a blockchain, but not really knowing you are interacting with the blockchain. For example, with the Louis Vuitton partnership, where you can scan the NFC, the NFC chip that's inside of it to verify its authenticity. That's something I think it needs to be that easy, and needs to be that easy to show to another company, like you are a premium brand, but to have a premium badge that can be counterfeited just by adding an NFC chip, that would mean so much more to a brand, that would give so much more integrity to the brand and to the people who want to buy it. So that's my thought of it.
No, absolutely. And seeing these little, that being as part of a product, I think it makes blockchain tangible as well. I think people will start to understand the true power of blockchain, right? It's still quite abstract for a lot of people. So having something you can scan and interact with is very cool.
Yeah, I agree. Do you still hear me, Jake? Yeah, I hear you again, Jake.
God damn. Yeah, sorry. As you can tell, I had a bit of a late night last night. Did you get the question? Sorry.
No.
I can repeat that.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's start again. How will you use your previous experiences to shape the future development with VeChain?
My previous experience.
As in, assume. So you are part of the steering committee. How will you use your life experiences to kind of guide the development of that, right? Because obviously you'll be playing a role at the operational level, helping guide decisions and putting thoughts forward about future direction, stuff like that. So how will your previous experiences kind of shape,
I think,
your interaction?
I think there is my strongest point, actually, because most of the people who apply to become in a steering committee are people who built up a new company, or are salesmen, or people who are really just good with talking and fast. What I have is I'm from after sales, and like if you buy a car at BMW, it's 1 hour and a half approximately. You get a sales pitch from a salesman, and then you bought your car or you didn't want it. He follows up sometime, and then that's that. After that, you have a multi-year relationship with somebody from the after sales. he or she needs to make sure that you are still happy with the car, that you are still happy with the services, and still happy with the customer experience about the brand. I think those three things are very important for any company. And to have me as after sales expert, I want to say, on the steering committee would mostly make it give it another vision. I would talk different about some subjects. I would look at it from another angle, from the more an angle from the customer, or like say, okay, but how do we see this long term evolving? And that's something that you only learn if you are in after sales, where you actually hear the complaints that you have from a community, that you know what they want, that you know what needs to be changed. Besides that, besides the after sales, I think also my integrity is very high. I speak my truth, but not on a harsh way for other people. So I want to share my vision, but also want to listen to others' vision and perhaps alter my vision for it. Just like being really connected and together and listening really to each other. That's something I found very important. And next to that, as I said, I don't like to be standing still. So next to moderator, next from World of V, next to the BMW job I'm doing, I am also having an NFT project. So I like to evolve. I like to learn, and I think for somebody who is eager to learn, who likes to evolve and in a fast way, and to have all that luggage from BMW itself, I am quite sure that I would be a good addition for the steering committee and something special and extravagant to add to a steering committee. It's not your all day portfolio.
I like it. Adding an injection of empathy, and yeah, that's a good angle. Well, you kind of touched on it there, but what have your experiences been then with the crypto community, and how do you think the foundation can kind of better support them at large going forward?
Yeah. So as you already know, I've been already a long time in the VeChain community. So approximately from the start when NFT started, and you learn to connect with people. So you learn to know how people want to respond, how they need to be responded to, but also, but being World of V moderator, you also learn to say no. So I think it's very important that you know how to treat the community, and that you know it's not right, not wrong to say no to somebody if you say it on the right words and and with the right intentions. I think VeChain itself for the community engagement improved a lot in the last month or two. It's crazy how this evolves so quickly and very nice. We see that Mike coming a lot online. I love that VeChain is present on the leader spaces every month. So I think for community wise, if we can keep that up with VeChain, that will be a bright future. Everybody loves to hear from the foundation itself. Including myself, it's nice to be heard and to be able, for example, for the steering committee elections, it's just a nice experience. And I think if we could just with VeChain keep this up, what we are doing now with the community, that would already be a great investment in our community.
Totally. I think, it's a great opportunity to have community representation at that level as well. I think it's obviously very important, and hopefully can further this relationship that we're all building together, because it's been great to see, the foundation be able to grow, and then obviously, the community grow with us, and mutually beneficial. Okay, let's move on to the steering committee then itself. So what do you think the core focus of the steering committee should be in the coming years?
In the coming years, what I like to see is, first of all, the DAO. I would love to see a DAO implementation that gives the community some voting rights. Actually, also something I can add to the last question you asked. I think it would be beneficiary for the community and they would feel heard. I think to place a DAO, to have a DAO in place would be a major accomplishment for VeChain and for us as a community. So that's one from the things I really would like to see worked on the next years. Also, it would give free time for people on the executives lounge to be busy with something else. And then, of course, being further in the Web3. So as we have with the Supply Me collaboration partnership, I would love to see that growing as a bigger dApp also.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, nice perspective. And so you've kind of touched on it. I'm going to run through the list here. But how have your areas of expertise lending to you being a successful member? I think, that is kind of repeating it at this point. So maybe we'll just move on. But obviously you mentioned, your kind of empathy, your kind of empathetic capabilities, being able to help serve the economy, the community, sorry. So I will move on to the next question. What would be a major goal for you to achieve during the terms of the next steering committee? What would you want to, your one thing that you would want to kind of put your stamp on during your tenure?
I really could dream, so of course, I already work 8 years from BMW, so it's like my second home. If verified cars could be something that's, if I really can dream, that verified cars would be the awesome point. If I could collaborate on that and make sure that multi-brands use it for just to verify everything on chain, that would be the major accomplishment I would really want to reach. That's something I really would like to see coming. It's as BMW, as car dealerships, it's necessary. They need it. They just need to see they need it. And for us to know that there is a part that they need it for, we have contacts with BMW. It's just something we need to roll out. It's good for everyone that buys secondhand cards. It's good for dealerships. They can sell secondhand cards with verified maintenances, verified kilometers. So if I could choose, it would be the verified car that turns to life.
Amazing. Yeah, maybe you can use your connections.
Yeah, I agree.
Great stuff. So where do you see the foundation in 3 to 5 years then, given your, if you join the steering committee and you play your role in its future, where would you like to kind of see things in 3 to 5 years time?
Yeah, what I would love is, on the one part is the counterfeiting. I would like to have more companies like Louis Vuitton entering the space with the premium brands, with having NFC tags and being able to scan on blockchain. So that's one of the goals I really would like to have more companies with clothing, with premium, like Rolex, for example. They can have NFCs in their products. Everybody could have an NFC that just to be sure that you have a genuine product. And then on the other hand, to see more car brands using a dApp we could make that they could use for their cars. Renault, Peugeot, BMW, Audi. There are tons of brands we could write to, we could talk to, and show them the opportunities they are leaving behind, because it gives them more value as a company as well. So, and to be able to sell that idea to multiple businesses would really be the thing I would love to see VeChain being in 5 years, having some major partnerships that really have a use case, really use the blockchain, that we burn some veto.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. Let's hope you get in. Okay, let's take it a bit more broad then with some aspirational questions. So how do you see your role helping VeChain achieve its goal of real world adoption?
Yep.
Sorry, god damn, I'm butchering today.
Well, I think because of I have other insights, I think we have already had steering committees with enough salesmen and with enough people who want to make it quick and big. I want to make long-term relationships and improve the relationships we have with current brands. So we have relationships with tons of brands already with VeChain, but how can we improve the relationship in order to make more out of it? How to make more of them using the blockchain? I think that is something I really strive for, and for being after sales related, I think that is something I would assist VeChain the most on for maintaining or relationships with partners and upping the game on it.
Great stuff. And what do you see as the future of digital assets and blockchain for the future economy?
I think for the future economy, it will be just widely used. For example, now I'm actually building a house, and we needed to go to the notary, and we need to pay amounts for a notary to check everything out. Turns out the last notary made a mistake, so it wasn't right, so they needed to alter it. If you could all have this just on sale on chain, and like with just an NFT, like just dream very big now, and you have your house as NFT, and just sell the house with just some clicks up on blockchain, and everything is right, everything is okay, there are no mistakes, and in a fraction of a few seconds you can just send your house, whoop, you can send your car, you have everything right, and it can be tampered with, it's tamper proof, that's how it should be. It's not people who need to have the notaries here in Belgium need 3 months to close a sale. That's just not
Oh, wow.
okay. Yeah, we aren't a small. We are a small country, but we have technology, and we have the funds. We have everything here in Belgium, but 3 months to just do a simple sale of one house. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go on. I think I cut you off there.
It's okay. It's just as a fast evolving world, we embrace technology. I think it's just obvious that NFTs, people see NFTs mostly still as a profile picture collection, but you have NFTs in all sorts of ways. And to have a house as an NFT to be able to sell, I think that is the future we want to have, and we need to have, and we are going to.
Yeah, no, 100%. The tokenization of everything, I think it's coming. Even, any kind of contract, even identities could be. I mean, it's just unique data at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Immutably attached to a blockchain. So it will be a fascinating development to watch over the next 10 years for sure. So how do you think the VeChain Foundation can better develop the current tools and services to ensure they're attractive for this future blockchain market?
I have high hopes actually for the new VeChain wallet app. That's a first. So I want it to be.
It's good.
Okay, you are lucky to have seen it already. But I think if we are able to, like I already said, lots of salespeople, technical people, we need to be appealing for the larger customers. So I am not a techie. I followed IT. In high school, so I have a base. I understand basic programming, but to have something that's appealing and like I like to how it feels, how it sees. That's the most important. And if VeChain can make it even more appealing with, for example, the new wallet, if we are an appealing to the public, I think adoption will come.
Yeah, definitely. And on top of the wallet, there's some other stuff coming, within the next couple of months that will be very game changing for, adoption at the lower levels, right? Because we have toolchain, but there's something that's more broadly applicable, for businesses of all size or projects. Yeah, some really exciting developments to come this year for sure. So on that same note, then, do you feel VeChain is on the right path to achieving that goal of delivering what the economy needs?
Yeah, I actually totally agree. Like the digitals that just run out, so that's stuff we need. I think everybody has an NFT that's proud about. Like I have some pieces from Jenny Passanen, and I already have some walls dedicated for that NFT. But to have a digital, to have actually and digital ownership and the piece in real life, that's something major we have accomplished with the foundation, with the blockchain, together with World of V, and I think those are the things that keep me bullish on VeChain, because if we ask something as a community, or if we only think of something, VeChain is busy building it, or we have it already. It's a seamless blockchain we are, and that's the easiest way. I am very sure we are going to bigger audiences.
Absolutely. Well, that's definitely the plan. Cool. So within the field of sustainability, then, what do you see as the most promising areas of application? Currently, what could we, apply blockchain to today for the kind of best outcome, in your opinion?
Next to the ocean cleanup, I also have thought about sustainability. For example, here in Belgium again, of course, we have a simple drinking water. So you think it's always there, but we have a few million liters of water leaking away. So to be able to have it on blockchain, it's very important to just keep track of such things. Same as, for example, solar credits. You could have solar panels and implement that in blockchain. It's so wide from sustainability that you just can dream it. We can make it and make it happen.
Absolutely. Tokenized engagement, that's the future of it. And, create rewards and incentives for sustainable actions and, essentially give people rewards for doing things. You'll drive action a lot faster. Okay, given ample time and resources, then what would your kind of ultimate use case be? If you can daydream on this one, like what's the biggest thing you would love to see built by blockchain?
Well, there's actually something I touched on a little bit before. That's actually the verify car, but much broader applicable. So besides the maintenances and kilometers that were on it, you should add recalls from constructors, body shop repairs, that you really have a full proof of ownership from the car with a full history of the car that's just tamper proof. That really would be the wildest thing I would ever see for blockchain. I'm a real car enthusiast. I think everybody knows that, and that's also why I'm obviously working for BMW. But like everybody knows an M3, and I don't know if everybody knows, but an M3, that's an iconic model from BMW. They have the E30, the E34, and that's a car. It's quite old already, but what's happened with it? You don't know. You need to buy it. You need to be lucky to have a good model, and that's that. But from now on, if you could say like I own a BMW i8, I don't own myself one, but imagine I own an i8 and I can say they changed the batteries this time. This is the quality on the batteries last time they read it out. This was the maintenance. Those are expensive cars, and to be able to tell that's right, and that it's been proper cared for, I would pay extra for it. Dealerships would get extra money for that product, just to offer that option for the client.
Absolutely. I think, leveling that information disparity where, there's one party knows more than the other is such a valuable kind of application of blockchain and so broadly applicable.
Yeah, we have often people like in the after sales that say, okay, the car, it's a bust. We have issues every time. Let's sell it on second hand, and then we are done with it. But there is a person that's buying that second hand car. They are buying someone else's misery, and I think to be able to say like, okay, this is what you can have. You can have a full history of the car that you are certain of, and that's not been tampered with. Because even dealerships, they tamper with histories. It's something we need to work on here at BMW also. It's something that's just not possible that you would do, and to be able to just have it on blockchain to say like, okay, this can be tampered with. That's life goals.
Helpful.
Yep.
Yeah. Hashtag life goals. Okay, great stuff, Sebastian. Thank you for all your answers so far. I'm going to put it out to the community now. If anyone would like to ask Sebastian a question, please get those minds whirring and request a speaker slot, and I'll get you up on stage. But Sebastian, why don't we just give the community a couple of minutes on that? Have you got any kind of words you would like to say yourself, just about your potential candidacy of the steering committee?
Yeah, what I had actually is I prepared something because on an interview mostly you get the question of what was the biggest mistake you made. That's a tough one
The
to
brutal
say.
one.
Yeah, I don't mind even
Yeah.
saying it. Like I say, it's very important for me to be honest. And my biggest work failure actually was I went too fast. So so we have our BMW keys, right? But if you have like 50, which one is which? You don't know. So in the replacement cars for the BMW road assistance, I thought let's command such key rings where you have a plastic where you can put in a picture. Instead of a picture, we put in the telephone number of BMW Belux, we put in the logos and the license plate on the other side. Was awesome idea. I showed it to everybody. Everybody was like, "Wow, good idea! That's really helping us. It's awesome, also for the clients, so they know their license plate." Okay, let's roll it out. So, okay, I command everything. I put everything in place. Made the design. We printed it, put it in. It's like, yeah, okay. I think 1 or 2 weeks went over it, and everything was done. Everything was rolled out. But after a few days, I get notifications. So, like,
Uh-oh.
shit, the plastic is falling out, the pictures are falling out. I was like, oh no, you gotta be kidding me. So I called to the company who made them. I said like, okay, this is the issue. Say, okay, no problem, just return them. You get the 2 years warranty. Yeah, okay, return them, but I just said them all out. I don't have a clue. So I said, do you have another design that's not able to do it? Like you can glue it together or something that's permanent. Yeah, we have it. It was something you had to heat and then it shrinked and the plastic would stay in. I was like, okay, I want one. I want to have one. I will try it for 2 weeks and I will check how it feels. And then I learned how important it is to have testing. So to have beta tests, alpha tests, it's so important to, before you roll something out, to test it properly. And I learned from it, and I found it an amusing story because it costed us nothing in money, but it costed us a lot in handling, so, especially for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Time.
time is
Yeah.
very costly.
The most valuable resource of all. Oh, good stuff. It's good to take learnings from these things, of course. I think we've probably all got a favorite example of, something that goes horribly wrong that turns out to be a massive positive in the future. I see we've got one request up here. Rahul, I'll just bring you up onto the stage. Feel free to ask your question shortly. Here we go. Welcome to the stage. What's your question for Sebastian?
So I want to ask that what are his plans for VeChain and for its growth, so that community could know that we are behind the VeChain developers and its higher level people are doing something, because the prices of VeChain is like nowhere to grow.
Okay, I like the question. So the main goal for what I want to do in the steering committee is actually build on the relationships we already have. So it's not especially on onboarding new opportunities because we already have a wild variety of companies we are working together with. So I think it's very wise that we would take some companies out of there, check the trend, perhaps have a meeting and like look where can we improve it. We have H&M, we have so much opportunities and all the brands already that we can look, okay, how can we make it in real life, how can we make more blockchain usage. And that is the thing I want to focus on. I want to focus on the long-term relationships with all of the companies we already have in the portfolio from VeChain. That's for me a personal goal if I would enter the steering committee.
So you guys are also looking for some partnership with other brands or like huge companies. Is that so?
I mean, from VeChain's perspective, yeah, of course, there's always developments in the wings. Obviously, a lot of it doesn't surface, but it's the name of the game to work with the biggest, but also provide the tools to work with the many, because there are hundreds of thousands of small companies and projects that are also moving into blockchain. This is our wholesale transition from the largest to the smallest. So the objective for VeChain is to service everyone, and of course we continue working with big brands, but the tools we'll be delivering very soon will also help everyone come on board. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more adoption from a lot more companies in the very near future.
Yeah, actually, I'm still holding from when it was 20 cents, and it's nothing less. It was 3 lakhs VeChain I'm holding. That is why I'm curious about it. That is there something going on within it, or like?
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can speak from my experiences with the team. Everyone's incredibly busy with many moving parts. So, I mean, it's definitely very much alive.
Yeah, by seeing
I
that, by seeing that UFC partnership banner, we got some hope that it will go somewhere definitely.
Well, anyway, I shall put the microphone out to the community. Is there any more questions for Sebastian? Have we got anyone else that's curious and got a burning question? And Rahul, thank you very much for your questions. Much appreciated for coming up
Thank
here.
you.
Bye, Rahul. Yeah, I like questions. So if everybody wants to just ask something, there's no problem at all.
AMA. Well, maybe I can ask then in this, while we wait. Outside of BMW, what would be your brand of choice to have blockchainized?
Oh, that's a nice question. I'm also thinking perhaps outside the car brand. What if we would add? I think, for example, I like clothes. So like the Louis Vuitton part, okay, but it's more feminine than male sometimes. I think if we could add like watches. I love the watch. I forgot its name. It's a watch. It only has one arrow on it, so it shows the time approximately. So it's for people who have time. Meistersinger it is. So it's a watch with a story. It's not just a watch for show. It's a watch. It has one arrow. It's between 9 and 10. You can say it's 10ish, or it's almost 9:30ish, and like that, it gives you lesser stress, in my opinion, and it's just a unique. It's unique, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think to be able, those are watches from 1,000 to 10,000 euros. So it's an expensive and luxury brand, and I think every luxury brand should just be onboarded on something to show the authenticity. Why not be VeChain? And that would be a major accomplishment also. Yeah, Meistersinger.
Great. I might look them up myself. Yeah, I mean, I think, logically, all luxury brands within probably 3 to 5 years will be on blockchain. It's the only logical path forward for authenticity. So, yeah, it'd be an interesting development to watch.
Yeah, I agree. They just need it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I see. Oh, Larry's come in with a question. I was just about to call a close. So good timing, Larry. I'll bring you up. Larry, welcome. What's your question for Sebastian? Hello, Larry.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Oh, hey. Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, what's your plans for advancing adoption within the automobile industry, outside of BMW?
I think it's widely adoptable for every automobile, actually. It's just if you show the opportunities they can have as a brand. So the biggest thing is a car brand likes to have their cars in their own dealerships. So you have separate workshops who are not officials, they don't make any money from that. They have spare parts who are not genuine. They use not regularly oil. So it's important for dealerships, as for a brand of a car brand, to keep those cars in dealerships. If you can say to the client, like, okay, you now just bought a BMW or a Renault or any other brand, you bought a car from us. If you want to keep the resales of the car high, if you want to make sure that we want to get we want to buy your car back, you need to stick with us so we can make sure that everything that happens to your car happens on chain. It's a quite powerful move for a dealership, for any brand of a car, because you keep the resales from that car high. You have you are sure what happened to a car because it's tamper proof, and it's good for the client. So it's win-win-win for everybody, and also for the person who will buy the car. So it's actually 4 times a win, and I think it's for every brand applicable.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting me ask a question.
Yeah, thanks for asking, Larry.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you coming up. Well, I think we have no more questions. So, Sebastian, I may call it quits there, but it was fantastic to hear from you. Very interesting, and great stuff for putting your hat into the ring. And I wish you all the best, obviously, with your campaign. We've got I think we've got 16 candidates total. So we'll be hearing from them over the next couple of weeks, and then the voting will begin. So it's very exciting times. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds.
I agree. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the opportunity already to
Actually,
to
I
be
wanted
here.
to do one more thing, if you got time, moment.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Why VeChain? Why do companies want to do business with VeChain?
Well, for the blockchain application. So when you've got, for example, sustainability, which is a large focus of VeChain, you have lots of interconnected companies that are sharing data pools, and one of the largest problems in the world anyway right now is trust in data, right? So it's why you have companies like DNV who will certify processes so that we know that companies are playing by the rules. But even still, as Sebastian noted earlier, you end up with forever chemicals in the water because companies aren't quite doing the right thing. So what blockchain enables, and what VeChain's blockchain enables, is this transparency between companies that's immediate and doesn't rely on a third party to tell you that they're telling the truth. You can verify it instantly because you have a data trail. You can see the IoT device that was used. Was it compliant? Was it certified? You can then build up these entire ecosystems of data pools where every string is verifiable, auditable within 10 seconds. I mean, in terms of what we have right now, it's an efficiency gain of tens of thousands of percent. So in terms of why companies want this, I mean, from the capitalist view, of course, it's efficiency, cost savings, all those good things. But from a kind of holistic perspective, it makes sense. It's like we want to further sustainability. I mean, blockchain is the only tool that can deliver that at scale. And then when you get into these exciting, other things that can arise from that, like incentivized ecosystems, which is a big focus for VeChain, where as a citizen, you do an activity, you can submit that data to the blockchain. Smart contracts can turn that into a token of value that you can then spend at an ecosystem partner for that particular, model. I mean, then you start to create powerful incentives where you essentially pay people to be sustainable, and that is game changing. That's something that VeChain's really focused on at the moment, and there'll be more to come from that at the summit and some exciting news there. But the why is because it's the next generation of data management. It's logical progression, it's cost saving, and it's a radical shift of the status quo. So I think companies that don't adopt it are just going to be left behind and outcompeted, because the efficiency increase of blockchain is just unprecedented. So that's the why in essence. That's quite a long why.
Yeah,
but
awesome. Convincing. Sound convincing.
Good. Right. Thank you very much for your questions, everybody. And yeah, Sebastian, once more, very much appreciate you spending your time on a Sunday evening with us. Great job. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I hope everyone